Hey guys, it's Brian here, bringing you another episode of the New York Islanders Be a GM series. In today's episode, we're doing something a little bit more unique. We're actually going to have some sim games in there, and then regular games as well. If you've seen the Be a GM episode that I posted, not necessarily for the Islanders, but talking about NHL 14, you kind of get an idea of what we're planning to do. We haven't done as much of the content I wanted to do for NHL 13, but we have some plans going ahead for NHL 14 that I'm very excited for. What that means, though, for the series is that we're going to be trying out some things, trying out some ideas to kind of get ready for NHL 14 and get ready for doing a better Be a GM mode in the future, and also kind of get an idea of also what you guys are enjoying the most, and finding that balance between what's good for editing, what's good for getting that content out, and what's also a good balance of how much you guys want to see from each episode. So the plan that we're going to try out here is that each episode, this one's going to be a little bit weirder because we actually played 2 games against Ottawa, but each episode is going to be pretty much 2 weeks of gameplay, and we won't be playing every single game, but what we'll do is we'll pick one game from each week, and the rest of the games will be simmed. Now the game that we pick isn't going to be our choice. It's going to be the game that is probably the toughest one, as we'll be facing up against some pretty strong teams each week, and we'll always choose the toughest team from the week. The rest of the games will be sim. The computer will face off against them. We'll do play-by-play on those, but then we'll jump into one game each week where we actually get a chance to play, get in touch with what's going on with the team that week, and then move on to the next one. And that leads to 2 games that we actually play each episode, and then maybe 3 or 4 that are simmed on top of that too, which should lead to maybe about a 10-minute episode, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, depending on how many games there are, but also a good amount of editing for myself that I can get them out as quickly as I normally do for the Liverpool series, which has been the big issue for creating NHL content, at least it has for this series, because playing 5 or 6 games, I enjoy doing and I get through them pretty quickly, but the problem is, after a while, you really can't keep up with the actual editing amount that you really want to do. Playing the games isn't really the challenge, is playing 5 games isn't too much, but the problem is, really, scrunching that down into like a 10-minute episode, getting all the hits, all the saves, everything that you want, and showing it to you guys takes a lot of effort and a lot of work to really get the finite details. And I feel like, at least when I've done it, where I've been trying to get the episodes down shorter and really been playing as many games as I previously did, we're missing a lot of what's actually going on. And it's kind of a good balance between, seeing these games. You're going to see here the Buffalo game. We have a lot more actual highlights from this game, and then also getting the experience too, that where we actually have to be a good manager too. We can't just kind of ride on the coattails of having a team like the Islanders, winning a lot of games because maybe we're a little bit better in the computer, and then rolling off that. We have to actually have a good team, because if we don't have a good team, we're going to have more sim games than actual played games, and we're going to be really struggling to make the playoffs. So I'm very excited to see how this is going to work out, but we're going to have to kind of wait and see. And the next couple episodes are going to be playing around with this. Like I said, this episode is a little bit different. You're going to have 1 game played and I believe 4 games simmed, just because of the Ottawa games from the last episode being already in this week too. And the other reason why that's happening as well is the fact that the trade deadline is going to be, maybe not next episode, but the one after that. Is that not this week? We're going to have I believe the Philadelphia Flyers is the other game that we sim, but we have one more game there on top of that too. And then after that, the next week after that, we have maybe 1 or 2 games, and then the trade deadline. And I really want to get your opinions on what you guys want to see for the trade deadline. This is the episode to let me know what you want specifically. We've talked a little bit about it in the past. This is the time to really let me know what you want for this club. I mean, the Islanders are not that great of a team. We're not doing amazing with them, but we are doing good enough that we can actually get into the playoffs and really give it a shot to win the cup, which is a bit unrealistic, but I think we could probably do it. I think there's a good chance of us doing it. So we're going to go, all out. We're going to maybe make a couple crazy trades, putting a lot of prospects on the line, because we're only playing 1 season, right? This is probably the end when we get to the playoffs, so we want to make it last as long as we can. I want to bring in those couple nice players to really boost our squad morale going into the playoffs, and hopefully have a really long playoff run as the playoffs are going on TV right now. So let me know in the comments what you want to see. What do you think is the quintessential player that we need to make this team good enough to get a deep run in the playoffs coming up? We're pretty much safe for the playoffs getting into them right now. We only have 20 games left. More of these games are going to be sims, so we're going to probably lose some of them too. But at the same time as well, we need to know what we really need to bring in. We have a lot of injuries right now. The back 4 is really kind of been destroyed, as we actually not the back 4, the back 6, but 4 of the back 6 have been taken out. They've been injured. Our D is in a tumultuous situation. It's going to get better a little bit, not too long from now, but still rough times in a lot of ways. We're still kind of clicking. We're still doing a good job, but we need to look ahead potentially at making that a bit better. So leave your comments below at what you want to see. I'll leave it for maybe a day or 2, and then we're going to actually make the decisions, make it happen, and you'll see maybe a bit of a shorter episode next episode where we play a couple of games, and then we also have the trade deadline. After that, we'll be back to what I was trying to say, that more streamlined episode where we really get into just playing the 2 weeks, having 2 games played and the rest of them being simmed, and then start really kind of playing around with that idea. For then though, until then though, we'll be playing with just kind of, getting through these, playing a couple extra games, and getting through that trade deadline, and getting closer to the playoffs as well. So with that said, hopefully you guys will be excited for just maybe a little bit more content, a little bit more streamlined content as well. I'm not too sure how fast I'll put the Islanders stuff on out now, because as we kind of talked about, we've lost a lot of interest for this series over time because I haven't posted that much. But the idea here that I'm trying to pitch at least is that when NHL 14 comes around, I'm going to do a way better job of really trying to support the series and really trying to get it out there. So if you're a fan of the NHL content, hopefully you're excited for what potentially might be a way better series. And I'm really excited because, like I said too, we're going to be playing as the Vancouver Canucks, my home team, and we'll be playing around with them, trying to make them a better squad. And the other thing you guys can let me know as well is that Landon's on the fence about joining in full-time for this series. If you really want to see him in NHL 14 as well, if you really want to see him be a fixture in our Be a GM career, let me know in the comments below as well, as he was waiting to kind of hear back from you guys if you enjoy seeing the 2 gameplay components rather than me just playing by myself, and if you enjoy him as well in the commentaries that we do for the live stream. So yeah, with that said, you can see this game was an interesting game. We really were, I wouldn't say trying to, we were trying, but we let up. We were being, having a good time playing around, and it kind of bit us in the ass here as we gave up opportunities that we probably shouldn't have given up, and at the same time too, letting that goal with about a minute or a second left, and they were able to come back in this game. We're up 4-2 in the third period. Should have put it away. We're going to go to a shootout here, which is something that we run pretty hot and cold on. Sometimes we do pretty good. Sometimes we get a good shootout going. Other times, though, it's not too good. And I usually try and just, do some dekes, make some moves, make something happen. Either looks nice or looks absolutely horrible. Here I try and go back forth on Ryan Miller. Not going to happen. Palmville comes in, takes the backhander, can't put it away. Molson with the opportunity. Landon trying to get something to go here. He just kind of runs out of space. And then we get a really nice goal here. Just, beautiful. And I have the chance to keep us alive. What am I going to do? Absolutely terrible. We lose the game in overtime. Fear not, though, as I've said. We're doing all right. We're on the doldrums. We're sitting 4th right now in the standings, I believe, and we're trying to push Pittsburgh, but I don't think that's realistic. We're just, sitting in those playoff spots, and that's really what we're going to shoot for here. But to finish off the episode, we have a couple games left. We have a game here against St. Louis and Philadelphia. So we'll be playing the Montreal game, and then next week we'll also be playing, and by next week I mean the next schedule period. That's when the trade deadline happens. We'll be playing a game from that as well, and that's what it'll be in the next episode. We got the game here against St. Louis, which let me know. This is one thing I wanted to kind of get an idea from you guys on, is I want to do the play-by-play on these, like kind of like a commentary. But is that too quick for you? I feel like it's a 2-minute excerpt from each sim. I think that's good enough. But do you want me to really slow it down and do like the straight up play-by-play for these games? Let me know in the comments, or does this kind of seem like a good length? I'll show you a little bit of an example. And again, I'm really just trying to get some feedback regarding some of these things for this episode. So sorry if it's a little bit more of a unique episode rather than the regular ones we post out here. But you can see that we had better shots in the period, and we're doing pretty good overall. Score was 0-0, and it was one of those games that it looked like, at least, that we were doing a pretty good job playing, and you can see there Michael Grabner getting a nice goal, and we're able to continue to hold on. They get some extra chances here, though. Back and forth play. We get the power play. You can see the shots actually really in our favor, 37-22 with 5 minutes left to play. Also getting the power plays as well, nice to just give us that extra time. But you can see St. Louis pushed hard at the end of the game, not able to get that goal, though. We get the shutout, a nice shutout there by Markstrom. You can see he gets the first start of the game, and then Michael Grabner below there. Great job as well, and that's his 25th goal this season, which is very nice for him. He's been probably the best player, the player that I've most enjoyed to play with this team thus far in this season. He has so much speed. It's absolutely fantastic to play with. And then we move on to the game here against the Philadelphia Flyers. Not really having an amazing season either, so two teams that we're essentially probably maybe on level playing field, maybe a little bit below them, but still a tough matchup for us. And again, kind of going back to that point where it's really neat here how we're not playing the games. We have to watch on the sidelines, see how our team's going to do. You can see there we got the second goal from Tavares, another great player for us, with Scott Hartnell getting a goal to get them back in the game in the first period here. And as the first period closes, we're up 2-1. Good game so far. Shots are pretty even overall. And they get the power play here. Not able to capitalize on that one, though. Following that up, they really start to put on the chance, you can see. And it overall is it was a tough game to watch. This was the one I didn't feel too comfortable when we're simming through it, as it was a very close game. And actually, the shots pretty much just kind of slowed down there, but Fedotenko getting the second goal for the team, tying up the game right before the third period starts. And we get a 5-on-3 here. Just, again, not able to capitalize on that, though. Kind of disappointing, as you're really hoping to get one there. But Talbot scores a goal on the power play there. We get a power play chance, see if we can tie this one up, and we are able to do so. John Tavares again, second goal, very nice from him. And so the game's tied going into the late minutes of this game. Hopefully going to go to OT here. But unfortunately, as you're going to see right into the dying minutes of this game, Claude Giroux gets a nice goal there, 4-3 for the Philadelphia Flyers. They win the game. And that's going to be it for this one, guys. That's going to be it for this episode as well. Let me know what you thought of the changes here. And like I said, it's going to be kind of modifying as we go into future episodes as well. We'll take a look at the standings here. And after each episode, we'll also be taking a look at future AHL results and then also our standings and stats to boot. So you guys have an update and know what's going on. But until next episode, guys, let me know what you think regarding the trade offers that we should make, and I'll see you around at the trade deadline. Cheers.